So by now we're all familiar with customized watches, particularly from Seiko, but rarely do we see other brands in this field, like Oris. So today's video is sponsored by Timeless Luxury Watches, who are a retailer of both new and pre-owned luxury watches from the likes of Grand Seiko, Rolex, Patek, JOC, and so on. I personally bought watches from them and received nothing but great service, so if you're looking to pick up a new watch, do check them out. Now Timeless has collaboration pieces done with other brands like Grand Seiko, which I already did a video for not too long ago, but they also have a piece done with Oris, which I have in today. This is the Timeless 65 limited edition and is the first collaboration piece between Timeless and Oris. For the specs, it is 40mm with a 48 lug-to-lug distance, so it's a very comfortable size that most people will enjoy. The case is made from stainless steel, but it features a bronze rotating bezel to give off this two-tone look, which will patina over time. As the bronze gets darker, I think it'll pair well with this olive green dial that also features gilt applied indices and markers. I'm a huge fan of this design, a simple time-only watch with tons of character and more importantly, symmetry. This is thanks to the Oris 733 automatic movement, which is based off of the Sellita SW200-1. It has 26 jewels, 38-hour power reserve with a 28,800 bph or 4 Hz that's proven to be very robust. Obviously, this is a diver, so it features a screw-down crown with 100 meter of water resistance, which isn't anything crazy, but more than enough for me. It also has a very domed sapphire crystal with blue AR that gives off the aesthetic of plexi, which is in line with the overall vintage-esque aesthetic. So recently, I've been on an olive green kick, so I've been thoroughly enjoying this watch, but what I don't like about it is the black aluminum insert. Being in aluminum, it will fade over time, but I would much prefer to have it in another material that also fades, like bronze, so we're gonna mod it. Let's go. Okay, so we're on the bench and I have here the Timeless 65 diver on its stock leather strap, along with an OEM Oris bronze bezel insert in its sealed packaging. To start, I'll remove the leather strap to have better control of the watch, and luckily these have quick release pins, so no spring bar tool is necessary. Now I'm making sure the bezel is functioning as should before doing anything to it, and covering up the exposed lugs so that they remain in pristine condition while I work on the watch. So off comes the bezel, which is rather simple to remove, which exposes the bezel click mechanism. We can also see just how domed this sapphire crystal really is. There's a cool distortion effect along the edges. Now we can put the watch to the side and work on the bezel itself. So as I've said, the bezel is made up of bronze and the insert is aluminum. The machining is very clean and free from any burrs on the teeth, which is essential in order to have a smooth action. Based on my observation, the insert is held in with adhesive, so I use a plastic pick tool to gently loosen the seal. I normally use this tool to hold down movement bridges or plates while in assembly or disassembly, but since it's soft plastic, there isn't any risk of damaging the bronze itself. Now the residue left over on the bezel needs to be cleaned up, so the majority of it is gently pushed off and the remainder is cleaned off via a solution. The bezel itself seems to be made up of an inner steel frame, which I'm glad to see since the metal click spring would inevitably wear away the full bronze bezel very quickly. Next, onto the bezel insert itself, which again is in a sealed packaging, probably to reduce unnecessary oxidation. The bezel itself is pressed back into place and checked to ensure that it's functioning properly. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I like to clean everything thoroughly, both obsessively and excessively. So now the bronze insert itself, which looks really cool with its raised and recessed markers. It's aligned up and pressed onto the bronze bezel, which completes the entire bezel assembly. And already, it looks so much nicer than it did with the black aluminum insert. To finalize the look, I'll be installing the two-tone bronze and steel oyster bracelet, which features solid end links. Now we have the completed watch, so let's take a better look at this limited edition 65 diver. So here we have it, the timeless limited edition 65 diver that now features a bronze bezel insert, which effectively makes it a bicolor model and the only one in existence right now. Now this was a very simple mod compared to what I normally make, but regardless, I'm a huge fan of this look over the stock aluminum, not only because the bronze will patina much quicker, but it just has a lot more interesting character with the inset markers. There are other bicolor models with different dial colors, but something about this olive green and bronze pairing sets it apart for me. It's super cool to know that this is the only Oris 65 diver with this olive green dial and bronze bezel pairing in existence. The entire design now seems to flow better in my eyes because it just has enough bronze without being too excessive. Obviously, adding the two-tone bracelet adds more flair, but a leather and rubber strap are also included, which makes this watch a great everyday piece in my opinion. It's a comfortable size with an interesting aesthetic and made with modern features that will take the brute of daily desk diving very well. If I had to make any improvements, I think the bezel plate could be worked on because it is noticeable. Based on its construction, there's only one click pin underneath the bezel, so I think adding a second one on the opposite side would greatly reduce the back play. Now with this bronze insert, I'm super tempted to pick one up. It hasn't even been a month into the new year. Do I need a new watch? So you can pick up this watch from Timeless Luxury Watches and it retails for $2,200 USD. It's up there in price, but you aren't getting a subpar watch based on my experience with it. I think this is one of those love it or hate it situations. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Do follow me on Instagram at loom_shot. And thank you again to Timeless Luxury Watches for sponsoring today's video. Okay, see ya. Hope you guys had a great new year.